Mr. Beneficial, never artificial, getting around town like surround sound. Let's check in with your boy. Let's get to it. It's Mr. J Pedigree, Memphis Finest, presenting to you another He Said, She Said podcast. Today's guest is Miss Tassha Mac. Tassha, how you doing today?
I'm wonderful in yourself.
I'm pretty good. So on today's episode, we have a few things we want to ask you. You know, first and foremost, where are you from? If you don't mind us asking, how old are you?
I'm from Memphis. I'm age 51, aging gracefully.
Okay. You never know with black women. You probably 25, 32, 29. You know, you can tell me 29.
Black don't crack.
Yeah, unless you smoke it.
Mm.
So, you know, you're a single mother, correct?
Indeed.
How old is your daughter?
My daughters are 30 and 29.
30 and 29. Okay. Do you have two daughters, no sons?
No sons.
Okay. So is it the same father?
No, two different dads.
Okay. But you only have two kids?
Only have two.
All right. Well, you have two beautiful young women.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. They get it from their mother.
So, with their dad, when you first met their dad, were there a lot of good times, a lot of good memories? Did y'all know each other for a while? Was he also from Memphis?
Well, they both were from Memphis, and being that I was young at the time, I didn't know what was good or bad. So I basically just went with the flow.
It's understandable. I mean, it's quite understandable.
And then not being real experienced in relationships, I thought that was normal.
Okay. I mean, at that age, you know, it's trial and error. So
exactly.
Do you still have a relationship with either one of the fathers?
Definitely not.
Okay. So it's not a bad relationship. It's not a relationship at all.
Nothing.
Oh,
nothing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still alive? You know if they're still alive? They're still in Memphis or?
Physically, yes. In my mind, no.
Okay. I understand it. You know, it's out of sight, out of mind.
I mean, but I do appreciate them for the blessings that I got out of it.
Okay. What would the blessings be exactly?
My beautiful daughters. My beautiful, smart, intelligent, go-getter daughters.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When it comes to your daughters, do they have good relationships with their fathers, or how's their situation right now?
They be in contact here and there.
Okay. So that's good. So they can reach out if they want to, if they need to, they can.
If they want to.
If they want to.
Yeah.
Okay. It may be a little deep. She said if they want to.
Yeah, it's their choice.
It's their choice.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's good. It's good to do, to have a father and be able to reach out to him if you want to. That's a good thing.
It is.
That's a good thing. I would ask, do they have a good relationship with their fathers? Do you know if they have a good relationship with their fathers? Is it kind of like on off type deal? How does that go?
I don't ask.
Oh, you cut them off.
Yeah, basically, it was the best thing. It was the best thing. No growth.
Yeah. He had to hit the road, Jack. You meant that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I meant that.
So when you first met him, young, were they older? Were they younger? Around the same age?
We were. It was a long time ago. So
Mm-hmm.
a long time ago. So it's hard just to figure out the age, but it was around the same age proximity with my first daughter's father. My phone rang one day and it was somebody I didn't know. But it was somebody that I knew that gave him the number. And I guess they thought it would be a good match.
So somebody was playing Cupid,
Yes.
playing matchmaker that
Yeah,
day,
they didn't have to do me a favor, but they
and
did. Yeah.
threw you a bone. It's like, you
Yeah.
might like this one.
Yeah. It seemed good at the time. He had a
Mm.
job and was doing his thing, and everything that glitters didn't go.
Woo! You ain't lying about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
his
ain't.
teeth. They would go.
So he was you did find him attractive when you met him.
Yeah, very. Yeah, he was like I liked him. He was thick. He had the hazel eyes, and yeah,
Oh, so he swooped down and
yeah, snatched me right on up. Snatched me right on up.
okay then. So I guess since um your first the father of your first child, um he wasn't long enough for the father of your second child. They're right behind each other. I'm assuming something went terribly wrong.
Yeah, he
Uh
chose to have he chose to have another kid a month after I had my daughter.
wow.
So I had her in November. Her brother came in December.
Her brother came in decent.
Yeah.
Oh man, he out here.
Yeah, he was wilding. Yeah. We bumped heads a couple of times. We were pregnant at the same time. So yeah, we crossed paths.
It was like that.
Yeah.
Oh
And his
man.
family knew.
His family knew.
Yeah, his family knew.
You know, I don't know what it is or what it is, but yeah,
They
I
protect these sons.
mm, it enabling. That's what they
Yeah,
call it
pretty
nowadays.
much. Pretty much.
Oh we. So in the same, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, see, being when I was young, I didn't have much experience in dating and things like that. Back then, you had to sneak and have your little boyfriend and things like that. But when I finally was graduated from school, because that's when I met him, right after graduation. I was getting ready for graduation, and I met him, and I felt it was time for me to start adulting.
Okay,
And so, yeah.
you about that age. It's about that time. That's perfectly understandable.
Hmm.
Um, so so this is like like your first serious relationship, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. But
Okay,
before my daughter, I was pregnant before that with his kid, and I had a miscarriage.
okay,
Hmm.
okay. So y'all were together like a year or two or something like that.
About two.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I mean that's basically a long term relationship.
Yeah, it
That's
had its ups and downs, but what relationship don't?
yeah, that's any and all. You know,
Hmm.
it's that's inevitable.
Yeah,
Uh,
lessons.
most definitely.
Hmm.
So the second time around, when you were pregnant, he also had another woman pregnant, literally a month behind you.
Yes.
So that's wild. Um, now I have an understanding of why you feel the way you feel because, yeah, I mean, yeah, I would feel like that was a great betrayal. You know,
Hmm.
um, a lot of different things that run through your mind. You know, it's another child off. If it's her, maybe it's another. It could be you.
Hmm.
Never know.
Yeah,
Uh, and he's taking risks. He could be taking a risk with your life doing
very much
things like
so.
that. You know, so
Very much so.
that's crazy. That's wild.
Hmm.
Um, so he ended up getting apparently getting out of the picture.
Hmm.
Um, the father of your second daughter.
Hmm.
How did you meet him?
To be perfectly honest, you could say it was like a rebound thing. They've had the saying, you get over one and you get under another one. It's just a saying, but that's how, if you just keep it real, that's yeah. But and it's almost like the same scenario. Somebody wanted to get with somebody, so somebody wanted to get with them and wanted to use me to get to put them together. But instead, the person was interested in me.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Mm.
karma,
Damn.
I believe in it.
Mm. I see it every day. I see it every day.
Hmm.
Um, and so I mean, you quite honest. You're very honest about it. Um, does what's the relationship with him? Is there still a positive relationship, or was it kind of like both of y'all realized like it really wasn't, you know, this true attraction? It was more, you're dealing with a broken heart, and you move in a particular
It was
manner.
that, and it was beneficial, and there were some feelings because we did live together and things like that. But in the midst of us living together, I found out about all these extra kids.
Extra kids.
Yeah, extra kids. And as my daughter grew older, I found out there was an abundance of children,
What?
anywhere from 11 to 12.
Oh hell no, 11 to 12.
And they all stack on top of each other.
Like right behind, like boop the whoop the
Mm,
whoop whoop,
probably the
wham
same month.
wham.
It's, ain't no
Same month.
telling. Yeah, I bumped into a few that were pregnant at the same time.
So his pullout game was terrible too. They just tripping. They wilding. Uh, boy, abundance.
Well, they say you don't have to pull out. You can pull out and it still be.
So yeah, he dealing with some fertility. Okay. um. So that situation, discovering, it's this situation, then this situation. How did that make you feel? Learning about all this.
Mm, to be honest, I never really thought about it, but it makes you angry.
Mm,
It makes you feel like it makes you know you could have made better choices.
mm,
Uh, what you could have done differently. Had I listened to close family members, my mother for one, but it just as time progresses, it makes you just think about all the relationships that you have encountered and how those past relationships affected that.
mm. So there's a little bit of being scarred behind it.
Very much, very much. It makes you not trust people as much
Yeah,
because anything's possible.
that's a and I've heard of people. We've heard of people having like a whole nother family to the side. Like
Mhm.
a wife or a girlfriend or a mistress. There's somebody over there who's aware of what you got on going on over here, but to have 10, 11 kids, like that's some they should do a movie about that. Like that's
Yeah, he has one cell phone in the house and another in the car, and you may be driving that car that day, and that cell phone rings and you answer.
and that's
The side chick or the other or the main, because that could have been the side chick. Out of who knows? But on one of those occasions, I'm like, at this point, I'm not even angry anymore. When I get home, I tell them to give you a call.
oh man. Uh
And so I could say that it kind of makes you end up being kind of cold too.
mm. Do you think that situation did you want to, and I think that'd be perfectly understandable. Did you want to exact revenge on your next partners in your relationships based off of because that would put me in shock. That would put me in disbelief. Like I couldn't believe that somebody who I'm being you know intimate with on a regular basis is doing something this wild on a regular basis. That would make me feel some kind of way. And you know being young, I think you would it's understandable that you would act out. Do you think like any relationships that came afterwards you
No, the next relationship that came after my last daughter's uh, father, it actually lasted a little over 3 years. Uh, the person ended up being the same type of person
Damn.
after, right? Ended up being the same type of person, but I wasn't having any more kids, which he say that's what he wanted, which made him act out the way that he did.
Mm. Damn. Well, what we at? Oh, maybe I shouldn't ask. What did you? These men were from Memphis. They were from
They
Memphis.
were from Memphis.
What was going on, man? You said 30 years ago. Like, were they trying to be pimps or something? Were they trying to have kids on the farm or something? Like, what were they thinking? They just being young and dumb. Like, what was going? Did you ever ask them like
The
why?
person that I dated for that amount of years, it would be things that would come out. He had this thing. He wasn't light skinned. He was dark skinned. So he had this complex about light skinned guys having. I guess things were better for light skinned guys versus,
Preference.
yeah.
Yeah, how you other
So I
fella got
guess he felt he
preference?
had to do more to prove himself or something. I don't know.
Mm. So it was an ego thing.
Yeah.
It was a bit of an ego trip there.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Make himself feel like he had it. He was the head guy.
You know what? And I think that's something that goes on today with young men today. They have this mindset that the more women that I'm with, the more of a man that I am.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't really look at it like, I'm taking care of my house, taking care of my home. My wife is happy, or my lady is happy. We are progressing in life. I got somebody who's good on my team, and I can see progress. That's not the thing that tells them that they're a man.
Not when
It's,
they're young.
yeah, you got to be in this competition. Every time you talk to another dude, you trying to let another dude know, I got this one, I got that one, I got this one. And
Mm-hmm. But all the time, the one that's sitting there at the house trying to make the house a home, she's not knowing.
mm,
But then she finds out when it's the girl next door.
damn. Okay, now, oh man, so he wasn't even sneaky about it. He just,
Oh, he was trying to sneak, but it came out.
mm, mm. So with this situation, I
But
we
you would think it would make me evil, right? But no, it would make me want to make the next relationship better.
I would, I think that would take a lot.
Because it'll make me think it's something wrong with me that's causing these things.
Yeah, I can see how your self esteem could take a hit.
And it does. It really does. But then people you date don't understand.
You see, and that's one. I feel like that's one of the things that we don't talk about nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Why people are moving the way that they're moving, and a lot of people are moving to prove something to themselves, to their peer group, to past relationships,
Mm-hmm.
their family. They trying to prove something to somebody else, and their mind isn't really being with their with that lady or being with
Mm-hmm.
their man. So that's why they get to doing all these other things. And you know, how with your situation, how did you recover, emotionally, mentally from that
I
situation?
focused on my kids first
Mm,
and foremost.
right.
And I worked a lot. I
Worked a
always
lot.
worked. Mm-hmm.
So you kept yourself busy.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was basically a way to stay out your head.
Yeah.
Okay. I
But then
understand.
it does affect your job and things like that. Because when you're sad, you not want to go out and show the world. So you may just decide, well, I'm gonna stay home today,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll go back tomorrow and I'll be all smiles again.
Mm. And so you putting on your mask, you putting
Mm-hmm.
on this front, you got this facade.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily that you're a fake person or anything like that, but you dealing with a lot, and you're the only person who you got to actually process what's going on.
Exactly. And even still, sometimes I still wear that same face.
Cause that's something deep. That's something that
Mm-hmm.
getting over. I mean, you can get. I feel like you can get over your man cheating
You'll
eventually.
never get over it. You never get over it.
I don't think. when you got physical proof forever, I mean that makes it extremely hard to get over it.
A
Uh,
person has to make you feel real comfortable with their relationship. And then I can just be perfectly honest because a lot of my relationships aren't what they aren't perfect. And I can't really even say they're relationships. They're situations. Ships.
and I think we deal with in adulthood. I think we deal with comfort.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got comfort food. Which isn't the best for you,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as being nourishing to something that's malnourished at the time, it does the trick. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of the relationships that we have today are more about comfort
Mm-hmm.
than actual love.
Instead of setting yourself up to be hurt again. Because it takes a while. That pain hurts. It hurts. It can probably last 2 days. It can last weeks. It can last months. It can last years. But for the time that it's there, it hurts, and you don't know how long it's gonna take to get over it.
And this is the pain of being cheated on in general. This is the pain of somebody outright having a
It's
child.
just the fail. I mean, really, I can to be well. Right now, I could care less about the other kids, but it's just the fact of it failing.
The relationship in general.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I think we all understand that much. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
there's anybody out here who hasn't had a relationship that was having its faults or its flaws, and it just got to a point where it was draining, and we had to let it go.
Right.
You know, uh, so finding someone who can be that person for you, that that takes time, that takes courage,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to leave that hurt alone. You gotta put that hurt in this box, and try to shift it out of the way so you can deal with your day. And bit by bit, the person that you're with can remind you of this hurt.
And I notice people they show you who they want you to see.
Mm.
It's like sending a representative and not the real person. But once they draw you in, then there's that real person. Now you're invested and committed to this person who you thought they were.
Oh my God. I we might have to do a whole nother episode on that right there. We might have to do a whole nother show. You know, people giving you their representatives. People giving you the representative, and I this ain't about me. This is about you. But
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. I've experienced it. I've been duped.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I say it takes about 6 months to figure them out. I feel like
Sometimes it don't take that long.
yeah, boy,
You put them in the environment. There's that person.
they gonna come on out,
It's coming out.
man. Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
gotta learn how to vet our relationship partners a little bit better. You
But
know,
how? Now I'm
that's,
asking you. How?
you gotta put them in them
Because people
situations.
say you have to know the person. Okay, well I know the person who they perceive themselves to be,
Mm,
but then once I let them in, then there's this whole nother person.
yeah,
So then I'm like, are they this person all the time, or does it go back to that person I met?
boy,
Then there you go giving chances, which keeps you in those 3 year or so long term relationships because you
projecting
want
that
that first
potential.
person back.
Yeah, you projecting that potential. You saw all this greatness that they could step into.
Yeah,
They painted a perfect picture.
yeah, hard working, go getter, just out there doing it. Then you get in a relationship, they don't work as much. They out in the streets. They appear to have all these friends.
Friends.
Then they have these friends picking them up who turns out to be their girlfriend.
Mm, a cousin.
No, it'd be the girlfriend.
It'd be a whole girlfriend.
A whole
Well, no,
girlfriend.
I was saying, that people say, this is my cousin, and it actually be the girlfriend. But yeah, it's Players gonna play is how they say it. Um, so besides the relationship struggles or the emotional turmoil, what struggles have you had to face growing up as a single mom? What struggles did your children have to face as a single mom?
Mm, well, coming up, uh, when I first had my kids, I was just getting into the workforce,
Mm,
and so uh, sometimes it will be hard, like getting to work or getting them to school or things like that. So sometimes it was a little harder for me than it is for some people. So it's been days where I would have to call a friend, look, hey, we don't have any food.
mm,
So that friend would come through and, offer us some food. It'll be days where, we couldn't get from point A to B. And with my mom working, it was just hard sometimes to get around. But it made me stronger, and it made me work harder to make sure I could provide for my kids. So if that meant us catching the bus or me catching 3 buses to get the Reebok or, whatever I had to do to provide for my kids, I did it.
mm.
Even if that meant doing some illegal things, but as long as I provide for my kids, I did it.
I can't knock you down.
Hmm.
I can't knock you
Not
down.
sexual wise, but yeah.
My mind immediately went to boosting. I was
No,
I
I could never do that.
I'm not trying to incriminate nobody. I was just thinking, I was like, didn't they hit that Nike? Didn't they hit
But
that
I did
train?
what I had to do, even if that meant walking them to school or uh, I just did all the necessary things for my girls, and it seems like they appreciate it because they're doing well.
Mm.
Hmm.
So during that time frame, were you able? Did it get to a point where you reached out for any kind of government assistance? Did um,
Yes, I had friends that turned me on to everything. So yes, I did the food stamps. Yes, I did the Section 8. And there's so many stereotypes where people say, "Ooh, they get Section 8, so they should give us this and they should give us that." But not everyone that gets Section 8 doesn't work. Cause
yeah.
I had Section 8 and I worked and I paid rent. So it wasn't something that was just free. It was just a help in order to build me up to where I needed to be, to where I can take care of us on my own with my
Hmm.
own income. It was help. It was a tool.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it myself. I've seen young moms who really needed their help, and it's kind of it's more of a, I would say, a positioning tool. It helps
Mm-hmm.
you get yourself in a position so that your kids have this stability
For
to,
those that want that tool. Because you have some that just ride it out, just ride the system. Yeah, you do. But then you do have some that don't want that to be something permanent. Don't want
yeah.
it to be a permanent fixture. If I can get Section 8 today with a job, I'll take it. But it don't work like that, especially with the housing market. Yeah, I'll take Section 8 gladly.
Yeah, this is Memphis. I, I ain't gonna go into that one. I ain't gonna go too deep into that one. Um, and so you were able to secure the some assistance, government assistance with housing, with food or whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, the dads, what what were their inputs during that time frame? What did they
uh,
contribute?
uh, the first dad, nothing. The second one, he would be around some, but not enough just to make a great impact. Uh, then he was later incarcerated for life.
Oh shit.
So, yes, habitual. But yeah, he was incarcerated. So I was basically on my own. And as far as the first dad, the only way I got help is if I went to juvenile court which I would have to go to juvenile court, take off work, go to juvenile court, uh, file an appeal because he's not paying child support, and then I would have to take off again just to go to court, just for him not to show up and them issue the bench warrant or whatever in
Mm.
order to get some type of assistance.
Mm.
So it was like I was losing money to get money.
Mm.
So yeah. So I worked, like, with me working the job. Well, at the time I was at the bank, so I was working like 4 to 1. So my kids were in a 24-hour daycare center. So, and I lived in Fraser. So I would have to drive all the way to South Memphis on 3rd Street when I got off at 1 in the morning,
Mm.
just to drive back to Fraser for us to go home. So it was a lot. It was a lot.
From 4 p.m.
To
to
1
1
a.m.
a.m.
Then we'll have to drive from downtown to South Memphis by Crystal Palace, all just to drive back to Fraser, and then do it all over again the next day,
5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Oh my God, I got tired just from hearing that. Boy, I'm already exhausted.
Hmm.
Jesus Christ. By yourself on your own.
On my own.
You got 2 daughters.
Hmm. And then when I was in the 3-year relationship, uh, that person ended up coming with a garbage bag. So when I moved in, it wasn't set in stone that the person was going to live with me. But you know how you see that one pair of shoes, then it turns into two.
With a
Then here
toothbrush.
comes that change of clothes and the garbage bag. So yeah. So you think there's going to be some help too, but it's not. So you're still making that same trip every day. And then I would go to lunch. Like, I would take my lunch, go to Fraser, make sure my kids, because once I got in that relationship, my kids ended up being in the uh, daycare out there. So I would leave work on lunch, go to Fraser, make sure they had food and stuff, and go back to work.
Man.
So yeah,
So
I had to make some sacrifices.
There's some hustling and some bustling going on.
Yes. Yep.
So you did that 18, 19, 20 years?
For 13, because they were in childcare up until 13. Mm-hmm.
So what was mom and aunties? You couldn't never leave with mom house
Well,
or auntie house?
they lived in South Memphis. Well, because I chose to move further away to get away from my youngest daughter's dad. So yeah, that was a lot. Now my mom, she would help on weekends and things like that, but that was a lot too, because at that time I had transitioned over to my new job, to Walmart, and that would be like 3 to 11. So when I would get off 11, I had to go to South Memphis, pick them up, and we go home. Because my mom works too, so it was a help, but I didn't want to be a burden on her because those are my kids.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. See, nowadays we have a situation as to where modern day women, they, and I like, and from hearing your point of view, I have a better understanding. I have a greater understanding from hearing your point of view, and how your significant others, your the father of your children, they made life incredibly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Made it incredibly difficult. I mean, just being extremely immature. You know how they say you can think with your mind. Well, they was apparently thinking what they.
Well, you know the song. I'm just thinking with mine. So hey, that should have came out then.
uh, so because of these, I would say, it's some short-sighted behavior because of the decisions they made. It made your life incredibly difficult. Um, and I think I think what we got going on now, I think that's a a follow up. I think the men back in your day, I'm not saying that's still not going on right
Mm-hmm.
here, right now,
Mm-hmm.
but the
Because it
choices they
is.
made, yeah, I, I know for sure it is. I know for
Mm-hmm.
sure it is. I know personally with a lot of different cases, but I think with your situation, I think that rolled over into the way women today think, because
Mm-hmm.
this whole summer, supposed to been, it's hot girl summer all summer, but at the same time, women want the man to pay all of their bills, you know, and if you going 50-50, you a roommate. And I'm thinking to myself, if you got somebody who's paying half of the bills, that sounds like there's somebody who's doing their part. You know,
Yeah.
I think the man should be doing things like fixing things around the house, changing tires, changing oil, taking the garbage out, cutting the yard. Being there for you, being a protector. You got somebody in the house 5 days a week who's faithful to you. You have a man. You don't have a dude that's in the street. So you know, I would think that that is what you should be looking for. But today's society, today's society, I think is a progression
It's
of
just different. It's different, but it's not different. They move a little different. And jumping back to what you were saying about how my kids' fathers were, um, I can't just give them all the blame because it was the choices I made. So I
okay.
have to be responsible for the choices I make. And in that, it's like uh, my mother tried to warn me,
Mm,
and like I've said before, um, if I had listened then, instead of thinking that she just wanted to run my life, control me, as the kids say now, hating. The mothers are being haters and don't want me to be happy. If I had to just listen, then I wouldn't be in this. I wouldn't have been in that situation. And I
mm,
never want my kids to think that, they were a bad thing because they weren't,
right,
because they helped me grow.
right.
Parenting doesn't come with a handbook. Um, it even still, I'm still learning because I
Hmm.
don't know everything. Different situations cause me to have to act differently.
Right.
So
Kind of force you to grow up.
yeah, it made me grow up real fast. But I mean, it's just a lesson that I'm learning.
Mm. Yeah, I've actually I've been enlightened from this situation myself. You know, um, we've had, I believe we had two men on the show already. I believe you're the second woman we have on the show. Um, and this difference of experiences gives the audience, I would say the black community,
Hmm.
it gives the black community a better view as to what we're actually dealing with, where it's coming from, why it is what it is, and I think that
Hmm.
we take the time to consider the backgrounds of the people who we're dealing with, like their situations, the things they're faced, things they're going through, um, the obstacles that they have to overcome. We get a better understanding as to how we need to start moving in the future,
Hmm.
you know, because, like you said, you were young, but the only way we should be going about it is together with, moving forward with honesty, with some authenticity, you know,
Hmm.
because you can deal with whoever it is that you want to deal with, but just be honest, you know.
And that's all that we ask, just for a little bit of honesty. But when you deal with pain and scars and baggage and things like that, some stuff people say let it go. It's hard to let it go. You can let it go, but you just don't forget it, and it carries over and it affects the things that you try to do now.
Hmm.
And some people don't understand it, or they just want everything to be easy, but relationships just aren't that.
Mm.
They all take work. Everybody has their own baggage that they bring into it.
You know what? And I think that's true. I think that's something that we don't speak on. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, most of the time, like you said about the representative,
Mm-hmm.
a person will project themselves to be so much greater than what they are, than what they know they really are. And it's a lot of pain that they're not talking about. And, when you get to dealing with them, it come out through their actions.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff that they start doing, it's all based on what's really going on with them on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can't get to what's going on with a person on the inside before we start dealing with them intimately, you know, we give them an opportunity to possibly ruin our lives or make our lives very difficult,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And most of the time, it's the children who suffer,
Yeah, and they do.
So the children suffer, they suffer, we suffer, the relationship suffers, Um, things coulda, woulda, shoulda went in such a better direction if a person was upfront and honest about how they really feel.
Or their intentions
Yeah,
and expectations.
'cause, I mean, if all you want to do is move around, then you should move around. You shouldn't be
And
having
say that up front
kids.
that be that person's choice.
You know,
Hmm. And you
um,
know how you said that men cut the yard and do the cars, things like that. I had a relationship where a guy told me that I didn't need him because I had someone to cut my yard, fix my car, do all these things. But me being a single mother, I had to be equipped to have these things done because some stuff I couldn't do on my own. So yeah, I had someone that could fix my car, mow my lawn, uh, house repairs, things like that. So I had someone in place. So he said I only needed him for sex. No, I didn't need you for that because I can do that on my own too. But I'm just being real. I'm just being for real. But yeah, so being a single mother, it makes you become more independent. And that's how I am now, which is a blessing and a curse because I'm a little over independent.
mm,
And then a friend of mine used to always ask me, "Do you need a man or want a man?" And I used to be like, "I want a man because I can do everything myself, so I really don't need one." So then it got to the point where I was like, "I do need a man.
you need a man.
I do. I need, then I want."
This is the question this is something that we don't ask. Don't you deserve a man? A man, not
Oh,
a
I
male,
deserve a man.
not a
Yes,
boy.
I deserve a man because
So,
it's gonna take a strong man to deal with me.
okay, so
Then I'm a Gemini, so
oh man, I was about to say, let's not use that word deal, but you said Gemini, so I don't know. Um, I'm playing.
oh no, I mean I get so many different things about Geminis, it doesn't even bother me.
And so, needing a man, wanting a man, being deserving of a man. Uh, I think that's the, I think that's the thing that we facing a lot in the black community, the independence or whatever. And I think we need to shift things. We need to understand that a woman can be self-sufficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I have somebody for this, or I have something in place for this. I have
Mm-hmm.
something in place for that. I make my own money. I
Mm-hmm.
can get myself to and from work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm very self-sufficient
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. Um, man, same way. You're a self-sufficient man. Do you need a woman? I think as a man, yes.
You
I
need that support system. You need that ear. You need that somebody give you that comfort, that safety. You need that.
I need and I want. I would say
Exactly.
I need it.
I want the companionship,
Yeah, I
but I
think
need that comfort.
see, and I think as a man, I
And some people
deserve
just
that.
don't get it.
Yeah, you can look at the camera. We can look at the camera. We trying to get you there. We
Mm-hmm.
trying to get you there. So it's I need this means I need a woman. I
Mhm.
want a woman. I
Mhm.
deserve a woman. You
But do
know,
you want that one woman or those multiple women?
I want a woman who is going to be my woman, and I want a woman. And I say this
But you
is.
know this show not about you, it's about me. I'm just playing.
That's how a lot of women are today.
We're not trying to get you that plug.
I would say this now because it's we are in the talk of a polyamorous relationship. People are in that talk. That's been a trend just as much
I
as
think I'm open to that.
big pause. uh,
I mean, I'm at the age where, I mean, if one thing don't work, then what's wrong with trying something different?
well, okay, this I say this because that's a what do they call it? That's a multi-ended tool. That's a multi-ended tool because it can be used for good, it can be used for great, it can be used for something terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It could just be a way for a person to just be a outright hoe.
In a relationship,
It should. It should.
that's in a relationship.
Well, yeah, it can be, but this is okay with being outright and upfront.
Mm-hmm.
If I and me in particular, I do prefer a woman who likes women. Me
Mm-hmm.
me me personally,
Mm-hmm.
that's my preference. I prefer a woman who likes women. All my long term relationships have been with women who like women.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm dealing with a woman who only likes men, in my back of my mind, I have it in my mind that her mindset is more based off of what can I give her, what can I do for her, how do I make her look. That's going to be the biggest three things that she has in her mind. Before she ever met me, that's her mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm dealing with a woman who likes women, her mindset is based more off of how does he make me feel, you know, how authentic is he with me and when he's around other people, you know, is this somebody I can see myself being with long term? So those are the three things that I get every time when I'm dealing with a woman who likes women. It's actually based more off an attraction of the individual and not off of what material things will this person add to my life, you know.
I can see that, but then I can see it as her pleasuring herself.
I never said there wasn't, that's probably as
Her
high
having
as
the
the
best of both worlds.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's me again, that's a personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
That's a personal preference. Um
We're gonna make that into another topic.
we can do that. We
Mm-hmm.
actually we gonna end up
Yeah,
doing that. We
but
gonna
we're gonna let y'all know we coming back with that one.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
a tune in for
yeah, it's coming.
polyamorous relationships in today's society,
Interesting.
you know.
But so with me working, like I was working, you see how I jump back on topic.
There you go. Okay then.
But how I worked, I worked. So the kids' school work. So when they got 13, they had to start staying at home alone.
Okay.
So it wasn't much I can really control because I had to work.
Mm.
So I ended up being a grandmother very early.
Oh man.
Yeah. My
Woo.
daughter blessed me with my first grand at 15.
Damn. Already.
Mm-hmm.
And she gonna graduate in about 3 years.
And she's 13 now. So that comes with some of the chances you take being a single mother.
So that was unexpected.
Right. I'm a grandmother of 5 now.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And that comes with its challenges as well, trying to help your daughters.
Already. And you've been trying to get your feet
Mm-hmm.
on you the whole time, and here it is. Now you got to I ain't gonna say, deal with, but
It was like having another kid. So it was like going through the ups and downs with the other side of the family. Her other side want to be so involved. So yeah, that was, and still to this day. So yeah, that wasn't very pretty either.
mm.
Hmm.
I would think that's a good thing, being involved or whatnot. If they want to be
They
there.
were, but we think very differently. I'm one of those people. I'm like, I have rules and
Mm-hmm.
consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they, I don't know if they have rules, but there are really no consequences. It's like, you mess up, that's on you. You affecting your life, but I'm not taking this away.
It's not a good thing because that person never learning, and they gonna keep
Exactly.
on doing
And
it.
that's how I feel. So that's where we don't see eye to eye. If I take the cell phone, they give it back.
Can't
If
be
I say
doing
you
it.
can't watch TV, she's watching TV. If I say no social media or YouTube, anything like that, which I think those things actually affect kids,
I know they do because they affect grown-ups.
then they get to, exactly. Then, so it's not about her, but yeah, it's it's like doing it all over again, but differently, dealing with more people.
Mm.
Hmm.
Oh my God.
So you're having to adjust to each other.
Whew. That sounds like a headache.
Yeah, yeah, because then here it is, I'm having to get this new baby to school and still working and taking care of my girls that were still in school, high school.
Mm. Mm. Just didn't let up.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, 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 boy. See, I
So you would think I'd be cracking around here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just about to say, you look young. Yeah,
Thank you.
because
Thank you.
yeah, you just stressed me out today with that. It's just you're thinking about it. You got this one and you got this going on, and as soon as you start to get comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
you get into a little situation or whatever. Here it is. Wow, I got another situation.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, they come. So you can look good on the outside, but on the inside, everything is just falling apart. Your health is falling apart, and then you have the work life, and that's hard too. So you have the stress of work, then you have to come home. You have the stresses of home. So it's a lot to deal with.
Mm, boy, and this is coming from just dealing with a certain type of individual so long ago,
Hmm.
and it affects everything that goes on in your life right here, right now.
It does. And then I'm so big. I'm one of those people that I try and think about other people. Well, some people feel like it's not enough. Like having two girls, they may pull me back and forth because one feels like they may be getting more than the other. So
Mm-hmm.
I just try and make everybody happy. Try. It's hard.
Mm.
Like earlier this year, I had a kidney removed, but all the time while I'm going through that, I'm trying to figure out how to help get my grandkids to school
Damn.
and how soon. So yes, a lot,
Mm. Jesus.
and it's just me. Yeah, I'm single.
And
And some people, when it and that affects relationships too, because I try to help my kids so much to where, people don't understand, and they feel like when you have adult kids, they should stand on their own. But your kids are gonna always be your kids,
mm-hmm.
whether they're grown or not. Yeah, they're adult children,
Mm-hmm.
so they feel like I'm too invested. So
It,
that can affect your relationship.
that's always gonna be your baby though. It's
Hmm.
always your baby, and everybody needs support. There's you be 50. It don't matter what age it is.
But then your kids feel like you spend too much time with that individual and not enough with them. So you just torn.
Mm. Oh, so you really done babied your babies, is what you saying.
Oh yes,
Yeah, that's what
those are
you
my
saying. You
babies.
done babied your babies, that's what you saying.
Hmm.
Ooh, we
And
boy.
baby and the grandbabies.
You know what? That's what grandmamas are for. You know, grandma's supposed to be baby
No,
and
call and
grandbabies.
ask my oldest daughter.
You don't think
She'll
this?
tell you. She'll say I'm not that grandmother, which I do what I can. But she say grandmother, granny, because that's who I am, granny. Granny's out more than mom, so I'm not at home babysitting.
Shit.
But I do. I keep them during the week. I don't want to get them during the weekend. I take them to school. I take them to school. I get one off the daycare when I get off work. I take one to daycare. Then I get the other on the school bus because my daughter has to work to provide for hers. So I'm her help. I mean, now she has some good. Her her baby dad is good, but he works also. So I do what I can to help.
So you got your situation, and she has her situation, and you know, you want to be able to unwind when it's time for you to unwind. You know, so perspectives. Ooh, wee boy. And
my life is full.
I see.
Then being a part of a lifestyle, an organization. So I have to spread my time out between the organization I'm in, the kids, work, and
so you got a lot going on at all times.
I do. I'm still living life.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, because I'm pretty sure you go out of town, you can tell people you 35.
I be thugging with my rounds.
Yeah, they.
Yes.
Oh man. I'm in Miami.
Yeah.
I got to go to Miami Monday. Matter of fact.
I'll be in Texas next month.
I love Texas.
I do too.
Love me some Texas.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back with a 10.
Shit, you did.
Yeah.
Memphis already there.
I know.
We been in.
That's all right. It's almost cold again.
Yeah.
We'll be back light skinned.
I hope so. Trying to get back there. I've been looking like one of my uncles lately. Getting there.
I've been so engrossed in the conversation. I forgot the camera was here.
Oh, okay then. Well, you know, we've had a chance to discuss a lot of good things as far as you know, the inner workings of what life is like as a single mother. You've endured a lot. Yeah, there's been a lot of obstacles thrown your way, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, you found your way. You found a way to enjoy yourself. You found a way to get into your own groove, even though you had all these different things piled up against you. You still have these things piled up against you, you know. But you found your support system, you know. You found your way of doing things, and you know, as you said, you're continually growing, continually progressing. You know, you still developing as things move forward or whatnot. We're getting to the last minutes of the show. We want to wrap it up. Is there anything that you want to leave the audience with as far as?
Well, I can only speak on me. I'm just blessed. I'm blessed and highly favored. I have my 2 daughters, my beautiful daughters, my 5 grandkids. I've made it to 51. Been on my job 21 years. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. You just have to stay prayed up. That's all you can do.
I hear you on that. I keep the faith. I'm definitely a man of faith each and every day. So that's gonna be the end of this show. This has been another He Said, She Said podcast. We had the lovely Miss Tassha Mac. Stay tuned. We're gonna have another interview with Miss Tassha Mac, speaking on a different subject.
And I'm bringing friends.
And she's bringing friends. You know, if anybody out there who's watching this who want to come on to the show, leave a comment. You want to bring some friends, leave a comment. Let's bring them too. You want to speak on the situation or possibly some of the other conversations that we should be having later, please like, subscribe, share, and hit those notifications. This has been another He Said, She Said podcast. Miss Tassha Mac, your boy Jay Pedigree. We out.